now available for pre-order on Kindle. Stop Simping in Cyberspace. Learn how to avoid predatory females in their virtual con games with Stop Simping in Cyberspace. Pre-order your copy of Stop Simping in Cyberspace on Kindle today. This weekend, President Joe Biden allowed the eviction moratorium established by President Trump to expire. And this decision to let the eviction moratorium expire is an incredibly troubling one because in some parts of the country we are in the middle of a surge of COVID. And as we are in the middle of a surge of COVID and the eviction moratoriums are expiring, your President Joe Biden is asking the House and the Senate to go out here and try to create some legislation to extend the eviction moratorium. Unfortunately, the House and the Senate have decided to go on summer recess for 6 weeks, and that has left most Americans in a serious state of limbo. Now, when I take a critical examination of Joe Biden's decision to let the eviction moratoriums expire, I believe he has made a grave critical error that may wind up making it where he alienates the American people and he winds up losing the House and the Senate in 2022, and he may wind up becoming a one-term president in 2024. Now, your Joe Biden was primarily elected because most American people believed he would get a better handle on the pandemic. Unfortunately, in letting the eviction moratoriums expire, I believe he has made the same tactical mistake that your Barack Obama made back in 2009. Now, in 2009, America was in the middle of the Great Recession, and because America was in the middle of a Great Recession, most American people, like myself, were on unemployment. And most American people were waiting for an unemployment benefits extension to be signed, and instead of signing that unemployment benefits extension with a Democratic House and a Democratic Senate under Barack Obama's control, the House and the Senate decided to go out here and have a recess where they had their 2-week vacation. And as they left the American people behind for 2 weeks to try to figure out how they were going to pay their bills, Barack Obama sat back and did nothing. Now, most people don't see that as the defining moment of the Obama presidency, but I believe that was the moment where most people turned away from Barack Obama and said they went from hope and change to realizing there was no hope of anything changing under President Obama because they did not see him meeting the needs of we the people or putting the needs of we the people first. And this is the same thing that is happening with your Joe Biden as related to this eviction moratorium. Clearly, we see, even with a Democrat majority in the House and the Senate, we the people are being put last. And what is extremely troubling is we the people are being put last in a time where there is a surge in some areas of COVID-19 in the country, and many of the American people are at the risk of being homeless and being put out of their homes. Meanwhile, the House and the Senate are going on vacation. Optically, this is not a good look for the Biden presidency, and optically, this could be the thing that alienates the American people from the Biden presidency the same way Barack Obama alienated the American people by not demanding that Congress put the American people first and sign that unemployment benefits extension. It's these two little things that may, again, repeat themselves and create a vicious cycle that may wind up leading to people walking away from the left and looking for other options in 2022. Now, what further exacerbates this whole situation as related to the eviction moratorium is that most of this is not the American people's fault. most of the American people trusted in your Joe Biden, believing his promises that he would get better control over the pandemic and he would be able to help them build back better. Unfortunately, in the face of several setbacks that they don't want to really talk about, your Joe Biden, instead of trying to regroup and rethink, has seemingly looking like he wants to turn on we the people and attack we the people. Now, this decision to go out here and attack we the people, this may wind up blowing up in the Biden administration's face, because this decision to go out here and get aggressive with we the people may be the thing that further drives much of the division. Now, again, your Joe Biden, when he was elected, was talking about how he was going to, one, get control over the pandemic, and two, he was talking about how he was going to bring the country together. Unfortunately, over the last couple of weeks, your Joe Biden has presented some extremely divisive rhetoric as related to what I will call the Smilex gas. Now, back in January, your Joe Biden made a lofty goal that on July 4th, he would get 70% of the American people to take an inhalation of Smilex gas. And that was a goal that, when I heard it, was extremely unrealistic, and maybe somebody in Biden's team should have set him back and let him know that he needed to take some time to go out here and rethink the number that he had set. Now, this was the second tactical error, as I see it, that your Joe Biden made. The first tactical error that your Joe Biden made was way back during the debates with Donald Trump, and that was when he made the statement that he would open America's borders to immigrants who were illegal. Now, this statement was something that set the entire world on fire, and it led to a crush of illegal immigrants coming to the Mexican border, and the INS and many other organizations winding up overwhelmed by not only a crush of what people say are Mexicans, but also people as far as Islamic countries, most people coming to the border looking for asylum in America. And the main reason why we had that crush of immigrants is because Joe Biden opened his mouth without thinking critically. Now, that was a major tactical error that led to a crush of people at the border, and unfortunately, it doesn't look like the Biden administration has made effective means to try to deal with that crisis, and that compounded with the not meeting the goal as related to the Smilex gas has led to the Biden administration becoming frustrated, and the frustrations about not meeting the goal as related to the Smilex gas and has led to them wanting to go out here and turn on we the people, talking about making things mandatory for Smilex gas. And this has led to, instead of building a bridge with we the people, driving a wedge between we the people, similar to what your President Biden alleged that your Donald Trump had made. Now, we have gone from the American people looking to move forward to the American people talking about gassed and ungassed, and people looking to go out here and fight with each other. And instead of trying to build a bridge to try to achieve the goal of herd immunity, we have gotten a lot of bickering and arguing, and your Joe Biden has gone out here and alienated many powerful political bases like unions and government workers, voting blocs that voted in large numbers for your Joe Biden, and he's looking to put many of those groups in jeopardy, and he's not really thinking critically about 2022 because he's looking to try to gain a big victory as related to Smilex gas. And again, as I stated in my video, America's Pyrrhic victory, this is one of the things that the left made a mistake on with Donald Trump. Yes, they won the battle in beating Donald Trump, but later on, as I said before, they were going to wind up losing because they did not have a critical plan for the future. And because they are running on feelings as related to unaccomplished goals, this is leaving them wide open. And what's more troubling is that you cannot really talk to many of the people on the left because they want to censor everyone and they don't want to have any sort of critical discourse as related to many of the tactical errors they have made as related to the Biden presidency. Now, as your Biden has made numerous mistakes over the course of 6 months, he has also had to deal with rising inflation. Now, this rising inflation is due to high spending from the government, which has printed billions, and I say trillions of dollars. And that printing of billions and trillions of dollars, if you understand basic economics, is what leads to inflation. And because you have large amounts of dollars, especially in the hands of the wealthy, what has happened is the value of the dollar has dropped. And as a result of this inflation, everything from baby food to gas prices have gone up exponentially. Unfortunately, your Biden's administration really has not thought critically about this inflation and how it's going to impact the economy. No, the Biden administration, it started out with a set of lofty ideals, but as we have stepped into reality, we have seen that many of the lofty goals they set really have not come to fruition. Now, the main reason why many of these goals have not come to fruition is because this administration was primarily run on feelings and its agenda was based on feelings. The main reason why everybody wanted to go out here and have this Biden administration and vote for it was because it wasn't Donald Trump. And as I've stated before, I am not Donald Trump is not an argument, and I am not Donald Trump is not setting a vision or a direction for where you want to take the country. Now, your Joe Biden said he wanted to build back better. Unfortunately, many of his actions as of recent are not building the bridges that you're going to need in order to build anything in this country, because the core foundation of everything as related to America is you need to build bridges between we the people. Unfortunately, over the last 2 weeks, I have seen the Biden administration and many of the members of the Democratic Party, such as Bill de Blasio, your Gavin Newsom, and Andrew Cuomo, drive wedges between the American people and create huge divisions. And it doesn't help that people like your Dr. Anthony Fauci and your Centers for Disease Control cannot consistently disseminate information and go out here and make consistent statements, because it was many of the decisions that were made as related to their information that has led to a lot of the chaos we're seeing right now. So when I look at your Biden presidency, when I look at the eviction moratorium, this may be the start of driving the nail in the coffin that leads to the complete collapse of the Biden presidency, similar to what we saw with the Obama presidency in 2009, because it was that tactical decision to walk away from we the people when the president had a majority House and Senate under his control. That was the thing that turned the American people away from the Obama presidency's message of hope and change and made them realize there was no hope of anything changing with these Democrats in the House and the Senate, because even with all of the power over to get any legislation passed, they passed over we the people and did not care about we the people. And the same thing, I believe, is happening with the Biden presidency. Instead of looking out for we the people, many of these people are caught up in their feelings about failing as related to their agenda. And because they're caught up in their feelings about failing as related to their agenda, they are taking it personal and projecting Trump onto the American people. And as they project Trump onto the American people, they see the American people as the enemy, and they want to attack the American people. But what they don't understand is you don't persuade people to see your side when you attack the American people. No, once you attack the American people and push them away from you, then they don't want to hear what you're saying. I mean, if you're about trying to heal the divisions that you say Donald Trump created, then you should be about trying to gain people's trust by doing things like assuring them that once we get FDA approval for Smilex gas, people will have retroactive liability, and with that retroactive liability, they are assured to be able to go out here and get legal recourse to get medical care in case there was something wrong with the Smilex gas. That is the thing that would go out here and build lots of trust and help you achieve your goal. Unfortunately, the Biden administration, many in it, are too caught up in their feelings about falling short of their goals to sit there and really think critically about regrouping. Now, from what I've read in articles, they are extremely frustrated and they're acting on emotion, dividing wedges between the American people, and this isn't really constructive. Now, when you have a falling short as related to goals, and this is something I know from personal experience, what you do instead of attacking people is you sit there and regroup, and you regroup by one, thinking critically about what you're doing wrong, and then two, really rethinking your approach in a way that takes the other person into consideration. Because when I look at the Biden presidency, it really has not taken the American people under consideration, and it really has not seen things from the other person's perspective. Instead, it goes out here and sees the other person as an adversary, because many people still are projecting Donald Trump onto the American people, and instead of them seeing that people out here have their own opinions, they just don't really want to sit down and listen to we the people's talking points from the other side. And that's part of a discourse that needs to be made, because you have to go out here and earn trust if you want to meet the goals that you set as related to the gas. That's what you have to do in America, but most Americans, they don't really understand that you don't build trust by attacking people, and if you attack people and polarize them the way Donald Trump did, what's going to happen is you're going to wind up leading from people swinging from the left in 2020 to them going right in 2022, and your Biden, again, does not see the damage he is doing, because if you allow millions of Americans to go homeless during a surge in a pandemic, and you go out here and you just alienate large demographics of Americans, like unions, like minorities, and others out here, what you're going to do is wind up making the same mistake that wound up destroying the Obama presidency in 2010 and leading to him becoming an extremely ineffective president that wound up walking out ignominiously in 2016. Because that's what happened to Barack Obama. He came out here with a big message and big words, but he could not follow through, because he hit many of the people in his administration. Yes, they were extremely smart. Yes, they were extremely educated. Unfortunately, many of them had poor people skills. Many of them had poor interpersonal skills, and many of them did not understand how to connect with people, and many of them did not understand how to have relationships with people to be able to convey a message, because many of those people thought that they were smarter than the average American. Some of them even thought they were better than the average American. And because many of these people had such great hubris in the Obama presidency, they wound up not being able to make much change, and they wound up making it where people felt so hopeless that they wanted to go out here and, instead of vote for Hillary Clinton, vote for Donald Trump, because they saw that these people were so caught up in themselves and their ego that they were not thinking about we the people. And this is where the Biden presidency is falling right now. It is becoming Obama third term, and Obama third term is not what American people want during the pandemic. What the American people want is somebody who is going to go out here and set a tone of real leadership, bring people together, and help start setting a course for leading the nation out of the pandemic. And that's the only way you're going to get things done. Unfortunately, when I'm looking at the Biden presidency as related to the eviction moratoriums, this is not optically a good look, and it again may be the thing that winds up turning people away from the Biden presidency, because it just shows us how in 6 months everything is practically deteriorated, and how the leadership of the Biden presidency just has not really been able to set a course. And it has not been able to set a course because the whole presidency was based on feelings about Donald Trump and not about setting a real direction and an agenda for the country. Now, this video is not going to be monetized because of YouTube policies as related to certain political issues. So if you could donate to the Cash App, it would be greatly appreciated. That's all I have to say for this video. You comment, rate, and subscribe.